So it can be wonderful, but it can also be kind of stressful sometimes. There's one of my favorite quotes about Thanksgiving is Ram Dass, which maybe I've shared it with you before, but he said, "You think you're enlightened? Go home for Thanksgiving." So sometimes, just the stress of everything, it can be a little bit challenging. So every year for the past few years, I've started this thing that I call 26 Days of Gratitude. So I usually start on Thanksgiving, not always. It kind of depends on when I feel inspired. Okay. But I usually start on Thanksgiving, and I'll take the first letter. I'll just start with A, and I'll do one letter of the alphabet each day. So I just go through the alphabet for 26 days. And usually it brings me right up to Christmas, which is really great. And I've done this usually using Facebook, so I'll just think about a word, whatever it is that starts with A, for example, to start, and I'll write a post on Facebook. So I've got quite a collection now going, and I'm going to share some of that with you today and also invite you to join me in doing some of it. So I'm going to start with A, and the post I chose to share is A for all. So I'm grateful for all. So I'm going to share that post with you. For A, I have chosen all that is. This means accepting, at least just for today, everything that is in my life. Everything just as it is. An affirmation a dear friend of mine likes to use comes to mind. It is, I am thrilled with the path my life is on. I love this idea. It does not say I love every single thing about my life. It does not say I am happy about every single thing. It does say there are no challenges or that there are not things I am working, or it does not say that there are no challenges or that there are not things I'm working to change. But it does recognize that everything in my life has brought me where I am today, and that this path I am on, whatever it is, this life as it is right now, is leading me to something wondrous. That I am in the perfect place for me right now. That life is unfolding, that life is a journey, and that it is wondrous and thrilling. So it's a perfect time for Unity Spiritual Center of Manhattan to be thinking that. Things are a little bit unknown, a little bit precarious, but it's easy to get in that state of fear where you're just really like, oh my gosh, there's no way out, this is never going to work. It will always work. You don't know what's coming next. Even if the next situation isn't perhaps as good as this one, it's also leading to something else. So just keep your minds open, and things are going to work out exactly as they need to. So yes, I am thankful for all. I am thankful for everything that has formed me, all the people, experiences, trials and tribulations, joys and sorrows, accomplishments, failures, ups and downs, all the light and the darkness too. Everything has taught me something and deepened my experience of this wondrous life. I am grateful for everything that sustains me, both the material and intangible. Friends and family, loved ones, the home I live in, the water that flows through my faucets, through my veins, through the rivers to the sea, the trees and plants that feed oxygen into the air for me to breathe, the plants and animals who give of themselves to provide me food, clothing, shelter, the earth and sky and rain that feed those plants and animals, that give us sources of energy to fuel our cars and homes, planes and buses, trucks and trains, the gravity and air that holds me up, the computer that writes these words, the mind that helps me create these thoughts, the heart that gives them meaning, the technology that allows me to share these words and connect with others far beyond my immediate circle, the fingers that type on these keys, the eyes with which I see, and on and on and on and on. If you can think of one thing you are grateful for, one little thing, anything, the cup you are holding in your hand, the sheets on your bed, the chair you are sitting upon, anything, let it take you on a journey. Stop. Think about this one thing. Think of all it contains, all the many things to be grateful for that allow this one thing or moment to exist. If it is the cup of tea in your hands you are grateful for, then you must also be grateful for the water with which you made the tea, the faucet from which it poured, the filter through which it flowed, the power that allowed the water to flow, the person who gave you the cup or the job that allowed you to buy it, the hands with which you hold it, the honey with which you sweetened it, the bees who harvested the honey, the person or store from which you bought it, the car you drove to get there, etc., etc., etc. Try this little practice. You will be amazed, and perhaps you too will be grateful for all. So now it's your turn. On your chairs, you should find a little letter. There should be a letter there. If not, there'll be one on a chair near you. So we're just going to take a moment and think about your letter. Now, I want to remind you that there's nothing too small or too large. You don't have to be, it doesn't have to be like I am grateful for, universal peace. It can be I'm grateful for last night I slept 8 hours, or, the pillow that was under my head. It doesn't matter, anything. So just take a moment to look at your letter and let it be kind of the first thing that comes to your head. We're just going to take 1 second. So nothing's too small, nothing's too large. All right. So now we're going to share what that thing is. And you can share a sentence or two. We don't have too big of a group, so it's fine to share a sentence or two about it. But let's not talk for 5 minutes each, or we'll be here till 2 o'clock. So why don't you start?
Mine is L. So that for me is love. I love you all.
All right. Thank you.
And I'm thankful for this moment. And I know that everything happens in this moment. And all the other moments are just a move.
Ooh, thanks. All right, John?
I have the letter D, and the first thing that came into my head was delight. I am the life of the world.
That's great. He made it into 2 letters. Perfect. All right.
I have H, and the first thing that came to my mind is home. I'm grateful for home.
Perfect. And that can mean a lot of different things, actually. Perfect.
I have O. I got openness, open thoughts, open heart.
Beautiful.
I have the letter S, and I'm grateful for the shoes I'm wearing to my feet.
Perfect. A lot of people don't have shoes and never will. Great.
I also had H, when I am thankful for hands that made all the amazing things that I ate this week and worked hard to help provide.
Perfect. Great.
I have V. The first thought that came to mind was violin. And it's probably also influenced by Sunday evening and learning to play violin again. So beautiful.
Perfect. Thank you.
First thing that came to mind was kindness. And then consideration.
That's nice.
To be honored as singing and consideration.
Perfect. Thank you, Palma. Michelle?
I am T, and what came to me is today. I'm grateful for today.
Perfect. Always good.
I got G, and I guess I'm grateful for so many years I feel like due to life experience, I believe in God, I believe in grace God. And just recently, that's come back in my life, so I'm grateful for that.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So this is a really wonderful practice, and I invite you maybe to start. You could start today if you wanted, and take a little more time and just let yourselves do some free writing or something and see where it leads you. You could start with A. So I'm going to share a few of these things, and this is the first Sunday of Advent, right? Am I right? So I thought I'd start with hope because in some traditions you share, hope, love, peace, joy for the different Sundays of Advent. So these are all different things that I've written over the last few years. So sometimes, I'll be referencing different parts of my life, but I chose to start with hope. So it starts with a quote by Richard Rohr. If the world seems desperate, let go of your own despair. So that's a really wonderful way to start, and it's kind of what inspired that practice that we started with, just kind of letting go of whatever might be holding you back from gratitude. Today is the first day of Advent, the day we focus on hope. I sit here before my lighted wreath, so beautiful this winter evening, and think about this wreath, this coming of the Christmas season, the warmth of the candles, Advent, and Hanukkah too, another tradition celebrated by the lighting of candles. Hanukkah celebrates the rededication of the Jewish temple in Jerusalem, certainly a time of hope for the Jewish people. So in this way, the two traditions, Christian and Jewish, come together. And any coming together is certainly a symbol of hope. I learned, too, that as is the case with most of our modern Christian holidays, the roots of this tradition predate Christianity. In this case, the circle of candles within the wreath symbolized the eternal cycle of the seasons, the evergreens and lighted candles, the persistence of life in the midst of winter. Life cycling round, overcoming adversity to reclaim what is one's own. All marvelous celebrations of hope. This is also fitting in this season, as in the months of trees dying off and light diminishing, it is common to find oneself feeling uncertainty, doubtful, maybe a little down. I have felt some of that this year. But as Christmas approaches, I always feel a true rebirth of hope. Something is stirring, brewing, coming. Advent. A new year, new beginnings will be here soon. And it is good. The next one is Ebb and Flow that I chose. And this was written actually when I was in California last January. So I was a little behind with my, I started late. Obviously, if I was only on E and F at the beginning of January. Just start a little late. I kind of sometimes wait till I'm really feeling in the right mode. So, but I really liked this particular entry. Gratitude is overflowing today. It's perfect, actually, as my E and F gratitude selections make a perfect pair. The inspiration for this post came to me yesterday while doing my morning meditation on a cliff overlooking the Pacific Ocean, seated on a bench in a little overlooked cranny in the wondrously beautiful and serene meditation gardens on the Self-Realization Fellowship grounds in Encinitas, California. If you're ever in Encinitas, go there. It's really beautiful. It's open to the public. It was a beautifully clear day, not too warm, not too cool. The waves flowed in and out in the most peaceful way, reminding me of the ebb and flow of life, how life's events flow over us, then pass on. Something new always coming, and the old forever leaving us, dying away, so the new may be reborn. Ebb and flow. The dictionary says this is a recurrent or rhythmical pattern of coming and going or decline and regrowth. So perfect, this representation of the cycle of life. I watched the surfers, how they waited patiently on their boards for just the right wave to appear at just the right time. How they would, if they were lucky and the timing was right, catch a wave for the simple beauty of its short ride to the shore. Then go back out and do it again and again, creating their own ebb and flow over that of the waves. Each time the waiting far outlived the ride, but that didn't seem to matter. I thought how this too was so like life. The high moments, the thrills we seek, the rewards we work for, the goals we aspire to, all having their brief moments of glory and joy, and then passing on, melting away into our larger lives. How beautifully natural it all is. The trick is to be like the surfers, to enjoy the peacefulness and journey of the waiting as much as the actual ride. It reminded me again of one of my very favorite poems, William Blake's Eternity. He who binds himself to a joy does the winged life destroy. But he who kisses a joy as it flies lives in eternity's sunrise. May each of you be blessed by the wonder of life's ebb and flow, kissing the joys as they fly. And the next one is joy, the next post. Today I celebrate joy. I've not been feeling particularly joyful lately, so was wondering how this might feel, and if I'd be able to find it within me to truly celebrate this beautiful emotion that for me is about more than happiness, which can be a relatively cerebral thing. But joy is something that wells up from a much deeper place, a true blossoming of the heart, something you feel in your bones, deep down inside. Well, today joy returned. It was a day at home, laundry, cooking, cleaning, feeding the men who were repairing my roof, sprucing up the place in preparation for the coming season of Christmas. My favorite Christmas music turned up loud on the stereo. It felt good to be at home, tending my garden and preparing for the advent of this wonderful season of love, of giving and receiving, of hope. This evening I prepared another meal for some of my most beloved friends. Such an honor to share my table. So sweet to prepare food for others, to spread my finest linens on the table, to set the house aglow with candles, filled with the aroma of fresh food. Then with the company of dearest friends. Yesterday was a joy-filled day in every way. May we all rejoice in this and every day. Then H is for health, which is a common thing. When you, I actually went to the yoga studio that I go to most often now has a Thanksgiving morning yoga class that there's like 55 people there. It's great. It's so beautiful. And she asks everybody at the beginning there's a little like paper heart ornament that's going to be on their tree. You're supposed to write what you're grateful for. And many people said health, family, friends. Those were like the big ones. And yoga, of course. We had a yoga studio. So I picked this health passage. Today I am happy for my health. This is a very common thing to be grateful for, I know, but no less important. And today I am most especially grateful because I visited the oncology center today. Of course, this wasn't today. This was some years ago. But CA 125. The CA is the marker test for ovarian cancer. All clear. It was 15. I am also grateful for my wonderfully luscious full head of hair, which I have because of my health. In the waiting room, I saw a young woman without. I stopped by her side and, running my fingers through my hair, said, "See, this is what you will have again soon." She exclaimed, "Oh my, can I touch it, please?" To which I replied, "Of course." She explained she had lost hers through radiation for tumors in her brain. But then with a smile, she said the tumors were shrinking and her hair was coming back. We hugged in gratitude for our own health and for each other's and for the tender moment we had just created. So fortunate we are to walk upon this earth. And then I'm skipping forward to P, and I chose the post I did on presence. Today I'm grateful for presence, this wonderful and sacred quality of being. Just being. How rare and splendid it is when we can attain this quality, if even for a moment. It might be when we are alone, just being present to the moment and all that is found there. It might be when we are entirely and deeply involved in an activity, any activity, from washing your dishes to creating a work of art. Anything. So focused on the task that there is no longer any separation between the task itself and the doer. That place where doing and being melt into one. Or it may be when we are listening, truly listening to another. No judgment, no censoring, no wandering off mentally in our own minds, no thinking of our answer to what is being said while the person is still talking. Or it may be just sitting in silence with another, holding the space, allowing the silence that pervades and unites all things to enfold you and whoever else is present with you. Or perhaps another is doing this for you. How do you feel when this happens? Do you notice how suddenly the moment becomes sacred? I heard a talk by Deepak Chopra some time back where he spoke about the chemical changes that occur in one's brain when we are truly listened to. It is true. This simple act physically changes our brain chemistry and consequently all subsequent behavior. Imagine the power of this. We could literally change the world in dramatic ways by listening. Simply listening. Presence. What a rare and wondrous gift. So I'm just going to read a couple more here. The next one is Q, and I chose quiet, which I had my own experiences of this past weekend. I mentioned to some people my daughters came to town with their husbands for Thanksgiving. And I think my house is maybe 900 square feet, something like that. It's a very small little house with 2 bedrooms. So I gave 1 bedroom to the daughter and her husband that drove 20 hours from Utah. Gave the other little small bedroom to my other daughter and her husband that drove from Oklahoma, and I took the couch. But I'm a person who needs some, I'm just kind of an introvert, but in terms of needing time by myself to recharge. So there was a lot of activity, and actually went great. Everybody helped clean up. Nobody was really walking on top of anybody else, at least not that anybody seemed to mind. I slept great on the couch. So everything was good. But there were a couple of times when the young folk decided to go out and see their friends. And of course, it's like the weather was gorgeous. I've got this beautiful picture window that faces south, and I just sat and marveled at the quiet and what a gift that also was. As much as it's such a gift to have all my family in town, also an enormous gift to have these moments of quiet. Today I am grateful for quiet. Quiet air, quiet water, quiet mind, quiet heart. With quiet comes clarity. With clarity comes peace. With peace comes wisdom. With wisdom comes right thought, right speech, right action. Quiet. Imagine a lake that is quiet. When the wind ceases to blow, the turbulence on the water subsides. As the surface returns to quiet, to stillness, then and only then can one see into the depths. So it is with the mind. So it is with the heart. The peaceful lake of the mind is always there, quiet and deep, calm and serene. Will we throw stones upon it, disturbing its serenity? Will we walk away, forgetting its depth and beauty? Or will we sit on its banks and let its peace, beauty, and mystery seep into our bones? So let's see, what do I want to do? Okay, I'm going to do two more. So I chose V for vision, which is another beautiful thing for everybody here today to think about. Today I am grateful for vision, this ability we have to envision all things, to create with our minds insight and ideas beyond that which is currently present. This is a time of year when we look back and look ahead. For me, the year has been filled with many beautiful things, but also with its share of trials. I have wondered if I need to shift course, but then I realize I am on a good path, the right path for me, with a new vision bright within me, waiting to be born into reality, one that will lead me to something even more bright and beautiful than all I have already known. The future is calling. I said I was just going to read two, but I'm actually going to read two more now, because I saw this other one I forgot about. So why I chose you. Today I choose you. Each and every one of you who is out there listening, known and unknown, whether you agree with me or not, or really whether you are even listening or not. I am grateful for you just because you are here, sharing this wondrous life on this sweet earth with me. I am grateful for those of you who have been following this gratitude practice, grateful for those of you who have contributed, grateful for those of you who began your own practices on your own pages, and grateful for all the rest as well. I am grateful for this community, for each of you who gather here. Thank you for being here, for joining in this sharing in whatever ways you do. And the last one, of course, is Z. And for Z, I chose Zenith. Day 1, day 26, the Alpha and the Omega. What a perfect day for my Z word, zeniths. It's hard to say, zeniths. My dictionary gives me these definitions. 1, the upper region of the sky. 2, the highest point of any path or course. 3, a point of culmination, peak, summit, or acme. From the Arabic word samt, which means road, in the phrase samt ara, road over the head. Need I say more? May you all enjoy every summit, every high point, every peak, those moments when your vision is clear, the path ahead is sweet and easy. But may we all enjoy the valleys too, knowing there will be another peak, this life of continuous comings and goings, ups and downs, darkness and light, endings and beginnings. I wish you each peace and joy with every step and with every breath, endless gratitude for the amazing abundance of this world, all of it, every single moment. Amen.